Hello Brainy Cats, welcome back to my channel. I got a review for you today. This is a 36 pack of the markers from Staedtler. They are double-ended watercolor brush markers. So if you read the back, it says, these double-ended watercolor brush markers have intense dye-based ink mixed with water for beautiful watercolor effects. Durable foam brush tip will not tear or fray after extended use. For illustration, you get the deal. Anyway, so they show you an example there and they tell you how to use a brush marker so you want to use them as watercolors. Moving on. So here is the marker. This is a purple color. One end is a brush nib, as you can see there, and the other end is just your regular fine tip nib, and you would use that for just your regular handwriting. As you can see, is a lot smaller than the brush nib. I will be doing swatches of these markers on this paper from Rhodia. The only reason is because this paper is good quality and it's smooth, so it's not going to fray the markers. So let's see how these markers work. So I'm hand lettering the title. I'm not an expert at hand lettering, so please don't judge me. I still need more practice. But what I'm going to be doing is swatching the brush nib, and then on the bottom I'll be swatching the fine tip nib, and I'll be doing that for every single color, so that way you guys can see all the beautiful colors that this pack comes with. Now, I'm not going in any specific order. I'm literally just grabbing each marker and just swatching it on the paper. So one of the things that I've noticed with these markers is that a lot of the colors don't match the caps. For example, this one, doesn't it look black to you guys? I know it's like a very dark blue, like almost navy, but the actual ink doesn't even match the cap. And that wasn't the only issue. My black marker seemed to come frayed. Like, as you guys can see there, it's frayed a little bit. I don't know why. I don't know if in the warehouse the manufacturers didn't put the cap on right and it frayed. Who knows? But that was a little bit disturbing, to be honest, because I paid money for this. So as you can tell, this blue looks similar to the blue on the top. That is another issue that I found with these markers. A lot of the colors look similar, but the caps look really different. See, totally different colored caps, but the same blue. Now, here's another thing that I found disturbing. This one seemed to have leaked the ink, and I checked to see if the ink was actually the ink was actually leaking, because I'm not sure if you guys can see that well, but it's all over the outside. And I opened the cap, but it didn't seem to be leaking. I don't know if it did at some point and it stopped and it's all good. Maybe it was overflowing with ink. Who knows? But they have some quality control issues, seriously. And that's a little bit annoying because they're charging you $17. That's what I paid, like $17 and some change for this pack of markers on Amazon. And if you guys are interested, of course, I'm gonna link it in the description down below just so you guys can check it out and buy them. And also, I'm not affiliated with Amazon. Now, I know this color is hard to see, but this is the color. The cap does match a little bit that light blue, and I think that's only one of the colors that was hard to see. Maybe a little bit some of the other brighter yellows, but that's about it. Most of the colors you can see pretty well. So here's another example. This blue obviously doesn't match the cap color. They're completely different. I find that a little bit annoying, especially if you're going to be, coloring something and you're expecting the ink to be the color of the cap, and then you color it in just to realize that it's not. Very annoying. Here's another example. That freaking brown is way darker than the cap. Super annoying. And those two pinks look exactly identical. That purple looks lighter than the cap. I think that cap looks almost blue in my opinion. But I mean, don't get me wrong, the ink colors are actually pretty nice. I like that they're really bright. So even though I swatched the black marker, I wanted to see if there would be an issue hand lettering with it. And as you can see there, even though it was frayed, it seems to be working pretty good. So I'm not complaining. So these are all the 36 markers. Now, just some thoughts. The caps look exactly the same. The only thing that allows you to know which nib is which is those pictures on there. I did find it annoying too that the caps were identical. I mean, because when you're doing something, you have to stop to see the picture instead of, like, you know, differentiating it by using the cap, but they didn't do that. So yeah, so this other side, I just swatched the fine tip and just wrote hello 36 times so you guys could see all the colors, and I did group them by color. So yeah, now I want to show you guys the almost identical markers. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, the caps look way different than the actual ink. So even though the caps look different, the ink is almost identical. And here are these two yellows that in my opinion look highly similar. Now here are the blues that I mentioned earlier in the video. If you see, they're going to look very similar to each other. Of course, they're not exactly the same. You could still see the difference, but nonetheless, they look very similar. Now here are two browns. Again, one of them is darker, but very similar. Now, these are the two purples that I think, well, they look purple and then pink. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe magenta? Nonetheless, similar, almost identical. Here I have decided to just try out the brush tip and write the word hello with all the colors. As you can see, the colors are very pretty, and I actually like how well these are writing. Alright, so here I'm just continuing to write the word hello, and I did forget to mention that I first wrote the word hello with all of the cool colors, and now I'm doing the word hello using the warm colors. And as you can see, your warm colors would be like the yellows, reds, and oranges. I am really enjoying writing, hand lettering, and with using these markers, especially because I find that the nib is very flexible. Now I'm gonna just focus on all of the pros of these markers. The markers, as I mentioned, they have flexible nibs. They're not fraying, and I know a lot of it is in part, you know, because of the paper that I am using. I mentioned. I feel like every video that I have, I'm always like stuttering or babbling, or, you know, you guys, I'm sorry, but yeah, just get used to it because this is how my videos are gonna be. Sorry, guys. Anyways, continuing on. Earlier I mentioned that the paper that I was using is Rhodia paper, and the reason that I chose this paper is because it's good quality and it's smooth. So if you have brush tip markers and you want to make them last, I recommend using this paper. I've heard other people use of the HP brand. I don't know exactly which one. I guess it's like HP Premium or something like that. But anyways, I'm using Rhodia because I really like it. And as you can see, they're not fraying my markers. The nibs, as I mentioned, they're flexible. And I also like that these markers are really juicy. So when you're writing out your words, you're not running out of ink. And I think that's lovely, to be honest. Now, I believe that this is gray. And I wasn't sure if gray, and I know I could have Googled this, but I wasn't sure if gray was a cool or a warm tone. But now that I think about it, I think it's a cool tone. And I was supposed to swatch those earlier. Anyways, you guys, hope you guys are enjoying this video so far, but I'm loving how the lettering is looking with these markers. So there you have it, guys. Here are the warm tones and the cool tones. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And please, please, if you subscribe, hit the notification bell button. Bye now. Peace.